also, the best way to demonstrate the attenuator down below, basically it just controls the amount of voltage going through. So earlier we had the sync going, and I'm showing you, if you want to take the envelope out, we have both a positive envelope out and a negative envelope out. We can put that, if we put it directly into the pitch in of the oscillator, there's too much pitch control going on. We're not getting the traditional sync sound we might want. So if we take the output of the envelope, put it into the attenuator, we can shape that voltage amount to make it something a little less insane. So it's just sort of the way that you can take voltage outputs and you can shape them a little bit so that they're not as extreme, like we were getting the full-on envelope right out of the envelope that was too intense, and we don't have any sort of attenuation on the oscillator itself. But you do have an attenuator, so you can take care of that. It's really very conveniently created, so that's super helpful. All right, the last part is the sequencer and arpeggiator. So basically, if we want to use the arpeggiator, we choose a rate, we set it to arpeggiate, tor, or arp. You set your Moog to arp. No? Okay. And then you press play. Now what's cool about this arpeggiator is it is sequential. It will play back the notes you've played in the order you played them. Which is, to me, a lot more fun as a player, because if I want to arpeggiate, it's really easy for me to sequentially go up and down or just up or whatever, but it's not so easy. I'm actually playing something if I do it in a sequential way. That's like a melody. And that's a lot more work. But if you want to have that happening with this arpeggiator, you can definitely just do it that way. And it's a lot more convenient. In the last setting, it started order forward, then I played order backward, and then I switched to random, where it'll just play the notes in a random order. And if you look down here to the octave sequence switch, it has a different function for the arpeggiator than it does for the sequencer, but for the arpeggiator, it's the amount of octaves played by the arpeggiator. So there's your arpeggiator. It's a lot of fun. The sequencer is super easy to use. All you have to do, we'll just create a sequence right now. You switch the mode to record, then you play some notes. If you want to enter in rests, this would be a point where you would press this middle blue button for rests. You can also add accents or tie notes together. If you play a note, press tie and play the note again, it will tie them together, so you have that functionality. Let's listen to my sequence. You have to have it on play, of course. And of course, whatever note you play, it'll play your sequence. So that is, of course, a lot of fun. You have 3 different sequences you can choose. This switch allows you to choose the 3 different sequences when you're set in the sequence section. And of course, you can switch the direction of your sequence from order forward to order backward. It's forward and backward. And then random. So if you get sick of the notes that you entered, it will choose among the notes that you entered and basically create a new random melody out of those notes, which is melodic generation, really. It gives you a lot of diversity of possibility. Of course, if you want that sequence to keep playing without you actually playing the keyboard, obviously, there's a lot of fun with that. But remember that you also have all of these modular inputs and outputs in every section that allow you to use this in a modular functionality. You get the waveform out, the pitch in, and the pulse width modulation in, pitch in, linear FM in. So basically, and I know there's some argument about it. Well, I have an argument. No one else seems to argue about it. But you have full-on modular functionality with this synthesizer in the sense that you can control everything you need to in a modular fashion. These may not be individual modules, and I know a lot of people want to call it semi-modular for that reason. But for me, it's modular when you can fully control the function in a modular fashion, which you can right here. So basically, you have those Model 15 modules sitting here to one degree or another. And you can control them. We have 2 different types of envelope coming out of the envelope section. And you also have, in the filter section, you can do negative envelopes, which I didn't point out. But it's cool that you can do negative envelopes even outside of this section if you need to, if you want to do like drum sounds or whatever. It's incredibly diverse. I know I've just been playing vintage synth sounds as I've been doing this, which is my custom. But yeah, you can definitely do some sound design with this because of the modular functionality and the functionality that is present. But oh, there's one thing I haven't talked about. It's the glide. Do you want to hear the glide? No? Okay, we'll just leave now. There there's this aspect of the mixer I have to tell you about. The CP3 mixer that was present on old Moog modulars kind of overdrove the signal the more you turned it up. So you definitely want to turn these oscillators all the way up if you want to get sort of a rich, distorted sound. So the glide time is really long. I didn't even hold it for the whole time. But yeah, if you want, you may not be able to afford a mini Moog. And if you want to have an actual Moog that sounds like the closest you're going to get to a mini Moog, this is the guy. Even though they're different technology. I mean, there are two different designs. But because of the inclusion of the ladder filter and the Moog functionality in general, you can get a true mini Moog sort of feel from this. The glide helps as well. So that is the Moog Grandmother. Thank you to Thomann for everything. Synth Reactor is amazing. You people should see it, and you probably are. All right, this was the Grandmother.